Well, we're about ready to wrap her up for the day. Very, very small fire pit with not a whole lot of artifacts. And that's a key word here, artifacts. Thanks for all your comments, people. I read them, I appreciate them, and it lets me know where you are so I can be more helpful. There seems to be a debate over what is and what isn't an artifact. My mother-in-law, for example, would be, oh no, it's not an artifact. What we're looking at is a lot of debitage and retouch flakes, but then we're looking at some tools and pottery that came out of this fire pit that you saw a few minutes ago. Anything that's been altered by a human being can actually be classified as an artifact. So even though we have just a flake, a flint with patina all over it, that's all patina. I'm holding the cone of percussion is right here. There's no diagnostic information on this to indicate if it was a flake knife or not. But a flake of flint, this has been altered by a human being, this is an artifact. Now, your artifacts can be semi-insignificant like this, but if we were doing a scientific dig, we would be counting all these. We'd be counting our FCRs and we'd be weighing our FCRs. So let's take a look at our pottery. We didn't get a whole lot out of here. We just got a few pieces. And that's basically it. And then you can, in your winter months, begin to see if things fit together. But these are very plain, both sides, not real thick. Your thicker pottery down here tends to be Adena. These thinner ones could be pre-Adena or intrusive mound, but not Hopewell, more than likely. Let's keep looking in here. We got a point, and nice point. This is more of your lesser grade or your lesser quality of flint in this part of Ohio. And what's missing is the base. If you look right there, and you look right there, that part of the base is gone. And when it was hafted and they were twisting, probably a lot of the tension on the stone was right there, and that's where it snapped. Broken, ended up in the fire pit. Now look at the colors and the diversities. What's cool is this. This is a piece of shale, which does not belong on the site. And so I would have to call it an artifact. It was brought in. To get to the flint on these ridges down here, they have to go through a layer of shale. And we often find artifacts made of this real soft material called shale. And as I kind of just look through this right now, very, very gently, not specifically, I see tons of patina on all this stuff. So it looks like we may have had a fire pit and then it ended up being a garbage pit, which happens all the time. And again, the little tiny pieces, which are a lot of retouch. Actually, this is a good one for you folks. This is the base of a flake knife. The cone of percussion is right where my fingernail is, but it's fanning out, and I see retouch along this side. Not so much over here. Now, I know that because I've looked at thousands, not only on the site here, but out in the fields when I'm walking. And then everything else will have to be washed up. This is a gorgeous piece of flint from down here, typical Coshocton flint. And I'm filling the edges, and that's what you got to do, fill them. It should be like a razor blade if it was just flaked. But this one, I can feel little bits of serration, which means first time usage. They did not come back and retouch it. So this was used once, and the scraper end of this right here was used once. Definitely an artifact. So we found a lot of artifacts. Now, how much will I save? Probably the ones that actually show where they've been manipulated to the point where they've put an edge or had an edge, or they're a broken piece. This tells the story. You need the whole package to tell you the story of the fire pit or the garbage pit or the dig site. So most of this will be saved. I put down a couple other things that I wanted to mention. Spray bottles are really handy. You can use them while you're at your pit. You can use them if you're doing still photos. You can get it nice and clean and shoot your still photos. These are some of the FCRs, fire cracked rocks that came out of this fire pit. Most of these are sandstone. 2 are igneous. And in this area, when your fire pits are mostly sandstone or all sandstone, they were usually bake ovens, much like they did down in Hawaii. They would have a hot pit and throw something in it and cook it and just bake it. So when we get dominating igneous, then we expect more habitation, more people working around the site. So use your insect sprays. You got to do that. That sting kill, I wanted you to know about that because the yellow jackets, at least in east central Ohio, are nasty here on out. They switched from eating fruits to eating flesh. So we have taken our share of hits today. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us today. Things are not neat and tidy at a dig site. They're pretty sweaty and messy, but you're here. You got to see the remains of a fire pit. We'll be back doing more fire pits in the future. Some are full of goodies, and some you just sweat all day and wonder why you're doing it. So we'll see you again real soon. Bye-bye.